you represent a sector that has really exploded. The edtech sector has benefited possibly the most in the
Right.
pandemic. As parents, we know that edtech is the lifeline to our children. So tell us,
Right.
as an entrepreneur, what do you make of the stimulus package, and where do you see the Indian economy going?
No, sure. First of all, Anurag and Vineet, thank you so much for having me here. Absolute pleasure. Good to see you, Anurag, after a long time. No, let me kind of divide my revert to this into broad comments, two broad comments. First one about where we are in the macro, in line with, I think, what Vineet asked right in the beginning. I think India, we have to recognize the fact that India is a developing economy. And if we look at things from that lens, I think we have done a fantastic job. Be it with the stimulus terms of making sure that the economy does not completely tank down. If you look at what's happened with a bunch of other countries out there, if you look at any other developing country, if you would compare an apple to apple macro data, you can clearly see the difference. So of course, our aspirations as Indians are we want Moon and Mars and Venus and whatnot from here. But if we really compare the data, I think we have done a really good job, and kudos to the government for that. So I sit on that other side of the debate. That said, of course, there is a lot more that can be done, and I think we are learning around it. Every few weeks, we see that there is another announcement, and I would rather see it as a fact that this is a government that is observing what is happening globally, that is observing the data that is essentially coming on directly from the ground, from operations, and constantly improving what can be done and what can't. Coming down to the word of startups, I think, of course, when the lockdown began sometime in March, April, there was a negative sentiment for sure. But I think that's completely been quenched out given the demand that we have seen. So I'm again on the opposite side here. Like we run a college admissions company, Leverage Edu, consumer, making money from students and parents. And we've essentially seen our monthly revenues grow by 100% from previous 3 months to now. And in fact, we have put out 100 plus job openings earlier last week. So we are, of course, I understand there are some sunrise areas and there's some sunset areas, but given that we have been in an area which is essentially sunrise.
Studying and watching movies.
No, of course. Correct. So that is about largely my space. We see that students are very keen to go out and continue with their education. Of course, given the fact that we are an online company, it has given us a great chance to catch up with our brick and mortar peers. I love this quote this quote that says that you can get ahead of the car in front only when it's raining, and in our case, it's pouring. So it's given us a great chance to get ahead of all of these brick and mortar cars who were out there in front of us. And just to kind of wrap up some comments, I wanted to revert to them about the startup area per se. Again, I think, and again, maybe my comment has a bias given the education space, but I think the working capital lines, the loans, the funding, I think all of those are available, and the sentiment has largely improved for all areas in the last 15 to 20 days. The venture community largely is run by sentiment. You don't essentially see it mirroring the public sentiment, the public equities. You don't see it mirroring everything that is happening out there in the world, be it a war.
Coming to you, Akshay, now EdTech has created more digital divide than digital democratization, if I may say. If you look at Maharashtra schools, 92% of the Maharashtra schools till 4 weeks back were not able to get their students, so to say, virtual classes. So tell us, in future, do you see the digital divide getting bridged, or do you see it getting wider?
And if I can supplement that question, do you think that the government also had a vision about involving the rural areas more when it comes to online education? What kind of role do you think that the government can play in that?
You put me in a tough spot, Vineet. I'll come to the second part in the latter part of the answer. But just to begin with, I think, of course, doing classes on Zoom is not the answer. It's not EdTech. Just by having teachers populate WhatsApp groups and mark attendance, and have kids who don't have a computer at home, who have one mobile device probably between 2 or 3 kids, I think that is not EdTech completely. That is definitely not the future of online education. So, of course, If we are to move to a more online, if I want to call that, future, we will have to reimagine it ground up. It cannot be in the same way as it is right now. Are we doing it right now? I don't know, because I'm not in that space. I'm not in the online learning space probably. But even when I see big announcements from companies like Reliance, we hear the same thing that Zoom is doing with the JioMeet. Sure, I'll just complete the other part, Vineet. So yeah, I think from what I hear and the information that I have, stuff is happening in the tier 4, tier 5, tier 6 cities where ground level talukas, district collectors, district judges are essentially going out and distributing tabs, distributing mobile phones, and ensuring everybody can get education. That does not get covered in our leading dailies and on news channels. So unfortunately, I think that news isn't there. But yes, of course, we are a very, very, very far distance away from there, and a lot more needs to be done by the government in that scenario.
Your response, economy in the next 90 days?
Quick answer, things changing by the day. I think 3 months is a very long time. Things will improve drastically. I'm very optimistic about it.
Don't be so. And we still have 5 minutes, Akshay. We still have 5 minutes to the show.
Cool. So no, I'm very optimistic about it. I think I have seen in my space things changing. I've seen the sentiment improving on an every week basis, on an every month basis. So I see I don't see a scenario where 3 months will pass off and we essentially won't make more progress. Also, the second part to it is that even if we, God forbid, don't find a vaccine or don't find enough medical solutions towards the current pandemic that we are in the middle of, I think as a society, not just as Indians, I think globally, we have learned to live with the virus. You have seen in the world of entertainment, that's I think what we began with. We have seen shootings started to happen. We have seen people suddenly get out. I'm sure
that's a sector that's ravaged. Our next cover is on that sector, so I have some idea of how badly it's ravaged. Our filmmakers are friends.
But things moving very quickly.
Coming back in a way.
I'm very optimistic
because the cinema halls are closed. So they said both at the supply side and the demand side it's impacted. Devashish, your response on where the economy.
I'll just make one last comment, Anurag.
This point, yeah, go ahead, Akshay.
I'll just make one last comment. I think despite the fact that the economy will see an uptick and some will see a U curve, some will see a V curve, of course, all of those things. But let's not forget the fact that some things will remain changed forever. And the nature of work will completely change. So I don't see remote work completely going out. I see probably people going to office say 3 times in a day and saying that, hey, probably this meeting can happen over a Zoom. So some things are definitely changed forever. And I think that's better. Those have been accelerated. That progress for humankind has been accelerated.